For our next conversation, please welcome Alden McDonald, CEO, Liberty Bank and Trust, Todd McDonald, President, Liberty Bank and Trust, and moderator Jabari Young, senior writer Forbes and editorial lead ForbesBLK.
Y'all good? Love it? So this particular conversation, please flash back for a minute. And we're going to go back to 1972. Down in New Orleans, and Dr. Norman C. Francis recruited this man. Yeah, that's cool. Recruited this man, Alden McDonald, to lead a bank, Liberty Bank. And that was back in 1972. As a CEO, he still stands there as a CEO. And now, that bank is the largest black bank in America. Black-owned bank, right? The largest black-owned bank in America, $1 billion in assets, right? Alden, you were the man that helped that journey, and now you're here. It seems to be a little bit of competition about who is the largest black bank in America, right? But still, take me back to 1972. What was your vision with Liberty Bank, and what was the signpost along the way that you knew it was successful? You knew that you were going in the right direction to get to where you are today?
Well, when Dr. Francis approached me about coming to run the bank, I turned him down 3 times. I didn't know whether or not I was ready, right, to run a bank. I was 29 years old. I'm 82 today, so. And I took the leap and took the journey, and it was a good journey. In taking that journey, we were able to bring my passion to reality. My dad was a waiter. We didn't own a house. And my passion at that point was, how do I help people to buy a house with no money down? And so that passion, I wanted to teach everyone I knew how to buy a house, because we didn't own a house. And that's an equity builder. So that's the beginning of putting our mission into the community. So when we came about, our mission was to make sure that financial services were available to people of color. Back then, banks didn't make loans to people of color. We had to go to the finance company, which was very high interest rates. So my passion and my mission was to serve the community, grow the community. And the community wrapped their arms around us and helped us grow. And this is what we have to do as a people today. We have to support each other. Because when you bank with Liberty, or if you bank with another minority bank, you're actually putting capital into that bank so they could expand that capital to the communities in which we live. So I take pleasure in understanding that the people of our community helped us grow, helped us to become who we are. And as a result of that, we gave back to the community gave back to us. And we've been profitable 48 out of the 52 years that we've been in business.
The only disruption came because of Hurricane Katrina, because they're based down in New Orleans. It's the only disruption of that profitability streak. But here you are now teaching and, ready to pass on the baton, maybe, to Todd?
Not maybe.
Maybe?
He threw me out a couple of years ago. 2 years ago, when we reached 50 years old, Todd was working at the bank for 20-some years and really learning the business. And in learning the business, I had to realize that my time was up. So a good jumping off point was 50 years in business and reaching $1 billion in assets. And I will admit, Todd is the one that got me over the $1 billion.
That's right.
If it was left up to me, I would not have gotten there. But I had to recognize that youth, another thought process in developing a business, you have to give and take. And so it was one of those things that I earned up to, and then he started pushing me out, right? But it's been a good,
later. I don't know why he's saying
it's been a good push out, and it was time. And so it develops a legacy in our community, develop a legacy not only for the family, but it's a legacy for the mission that we grew back in 1972.
Yeah.
And
How often do you get a chance, and think about this, how often do you get a chance to see real generational wealth, that transfer of power right now? That's why this panel is important, right? Alden McDonald started that bank with Dr. Francis, and now they're handing the reins over to his son, right? Think about how powerful that is. A bank. And Todd, as we sit here, man, in 2025, when you hear the phrase generational wealth, what comes to mind for you?
Extremely important, especially for our community. When I engage with other communities, it's the norm. It's been happening for generations, and that's why you see, especially Black communities lag behind in terms of net worth and balance sheet and exposure to credit and business ownership. And that has to change. It must change. And that's part of our mission as a bank. And so we lend every single day to try to move that needle. And when you look at the wealth gap, we have a lot of stuff to cover. We have a lot of room to cover. And when you look at home ownership, even though it was mentioned earlier on the earlier panel, home ownership is actually flat since the 70s, 80s in the Black community. And so my father is very passionate about mortgage lending. I am as well. And that's essentially the first step to building wealth.
Yeah. And I just got a new mortgage through Liberty Bank. I'm not
Thank
up
you
here
for your
talking.
business.
I'm banking
Thank you for
with a
your
Black
business.
bank.
Thank
Right?
you for
Think
your
about
business.
that. That deserves a round of applause. You all need to think about that. Right? Looking at it today, there still is a lot of mystery around banking, right? Every time I'm going and I'm talking to my friends and they're talking about their uncles and they say, oh, he put his money in a mattress, man, he ain't trust no bank. And that trust was disrupted years and decades ago. But when you look at the Black community and banking in general, do you see an issue?
well, I think the issue is education, really, and having people to understand. Our mission has been to lend to the community in all different ways. We're very proud. I mean, we've built many, many, many small businesses. We've built many, many, many home mortgages. At one point, we were the largest FHA VA lender in the entire state of Louisiana. Okay? So right now, we're looking at various things. We're putting together a financial literacy piece. I'm not going to call it a program because when you speak of financial literacy, you think in terms of teaching someone how to open a bank account. We're going beyond that. And part of our financial literacy piece, we are going to educate all of our customer base, all of our community, on what to do with their retirement program, what to do with their 401k. We feel just from the education side, we could help them achieve a 5-point increase in their return. So if someone's earning 8%, 10%, and if we increase it to 15%, it will double their retirement bucket in 7 years. That's significant. That is helping to close the wealth gap. That's our mission. Our mission is here to build our community, to help people achieve wealth. And we've done that over the years. We have over $150 million on our books in real estate mortgages that couldn't qualify for the secondary market. So we know how to expand that underwriting. People come to us with issues. Our job is to really teach them how to solve their problems. And that's what we've been doing. And we lend all over the country. You mentioned that you got your mortgage. We lend in 41 states. With technology today, anybody can bank with us from wherever you are. Because if you have a cell phone, we call that our branch. So our branch is in the palm of your hand. Think about it. You could go online, open an account. You could go online, get a Visa card at a very reasonable rate. We have the best Visa card interest rate than any financial institution in the country. In the country. Okay, so check it out. You could borrow money. You could buy a house. All in the technology space. So if you want to bank with us, you could bank with us from the palm of your hand, or if you want to use your computer at home, that's fine. So we have extended our ability to help people get a step up in life and to build wealth. And thanks to Todd and others who have supported our institution over the last 52 years, we're doing that. And the legacy between Todd and myself and my family, the whole wealth piece transfer, we think we are transferring more than wealth. We're transferring knowledge. We're transferring the wealth that we have learned in building of what we understand. So that wealth piece for us goes to all of you, all of us. And we as a community coming together, we can do this thing. You know, at the age of 29, I was young and stupid. I thought I could turn the world upside down. But it was good because I took some chances. I got to understand the business. And here we are today providing solutions. And when you look at where we are today economically in the country, you know, a lot of people want to look at it where the glass is half full. Let me tell you, we are in my opinion, in the condition, in a space where the entire world is changing and turning upside down, which means where those doors were closed for you, those doors are opening up because everybody is getting turned upside down. So now you have more doors to go in before they close again. So look at this as an opportunity. You know, my philosophy has always been an obstacle, O for obstacle, also means O for opportunity. So whenever you have some downturn in your life, some negative thing happen in your life, just think for a moment and find the opportunity. With Katrina, as you mentioned, we lost everything in Katrina. We lost our customer base, all of our files, our equipment. We were devastated, right? So we had to look for an opportunity from that obstacle. And we made it back the first year afterwards in a better place than where we were before. So I'm going to stop talking now because
listen, you got it's the knowledge that you're laying on. But Todd, I want to ask you right fast to pivot. First, what is it like to be a banker? Like, what is your day to day? What is it like to be a banker?
You're taking risk all day,
Yeah.
so I have no itch to gamble in like person. Everybody's like, you want to go to the casino? And I'm like, I gamble every day, essentially. But it's an honor to be a banker because you are helping change people's lives by the stroke of a pen. And when you understand the trials and the difficult times that people have, and you start to apply the underwriting skills that we've been doing for decades, you help solve a lot of people's problems. And so we both like challenges. It's kind of like put a file on our desk and figure out like how can we structure this. And you know, one underwriter may say, well, this thing is dead on arrival. And when my father and I and others at the bank look at a file, we're navigating our thought process from previous loans. So it truly is an honor to provide capital. And when you see other bankers take their expertise and lend money so that businesses can expand, so that small businesses can hire more people, make sure that they're paying good wages to their employees, and then their employees have health benefits and 401ks, and it's just a domino effect. And as a banker, you're kind of at the starting point. And so, I know banking is not probably the hottest job in today's market, but I would encourage everybody to go intern for a bank or just, work for free and, for a day or two, and just to get exposure, because there are a lot of different verticals in the sector that have not been explored yet.
Yeah. As you, again, taking over the reins, right, you're going to be faced with a whole bunch of obstacles and opportunities that will also arise. But as we go into 2026, right, what does Todd McDonald see when it comes to the Black community, building wealth, banking? Like, what are you focusing on in 2026? I know your passion is, getting people's houses, and Todd wants to do, no loan is denied. That's what you want, right? No loan is denied. But again, looking at the next few months, heading into a new year, what's on your mind? What's the biggest concern?
Yeah, so building out our partnerships. So we have a lot of strong relationships with a lot of large companies across the country and even internationally. And really just figuring out solutions around those partnerships, because they already have a really good ecosystem around them already. And so for us to plug in and
give me an example.
For instance, this is public, Microsoft. So Microsoft has a lot of vendors that contribute to their entire ecosystem. However, if a small business owner is awarded $1 million contract by Microsoft, they need that startup capital. They need to mobilize on that scope of work. And most times, especially businesses in our community, don't have that. And that's where we come in. So we provide that $100,000 loan, the $250,000 loan. They execute on the work, they get paid, we get paid back, most importantly, and then we continue on, and we just keep doing it. And so we do thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of those transactions. Then, again, you're moving the needle.
Yeah. This is the 20th year of Hurricane Katrina
yes.
this year.
I have not watched that Netflix special.
Yeah.
Not yet.
You're not ready for it?
I don't think I'm ready for it, because that was a pretty painful experience.
Yeah. But when you think back about how you guys got out of that, and still today standing, again, largest Black-owned bank, what goes through your mind? I mean, I know you can't watch it now, but when you think about that time, what hits you? What automatically just you think about?
Well, thank God, because it was a tremendous blessing for us to get out of that situation. And, my dad's creative mind kicked in instantly, and I worked with him every single day after Hurricane Katrina. He started picking up the phone, calling friends around the country, because when you're a bank and you have your deposit base leave, that means your liquidity ratios go out of whack. It messes up a whole bunch of stuff. But he looked it dead in its eye and said, okay, how can I start to repair this? And so a lot of major corporations where his friends were executives, they parked money in us. We plugged that hole. And then we started acquiring failed banks, because right in 2005 was Hurricane Katrina, but right behind that was the financial crisis. And so his saying, when there's an obstacle, take the O and make it into an opportunity, is very real, because what he saw was if we bought banks that were failed, one, we know what we're doing. Not to say that they didn't know what they were doing, but we know and we're confident that we could fix things. And so that's how we grew into who we are today.
There's one thing I would like to add, not on the Katrina story, but what we learned from Katrina is partnerships. And Todd has been very good of going out developing partnerships. And as I sat and listened to some of the speakers today, it's all about partnerships. It's all about finding different ways to help that small business person or to help the community achieve economic success. That partnership is very, very strong with our institution. We do things that nobody else is doing. It is our institution who's trying to develop new ways, new methods of helping us achieve economic wealth. as a community. And that's what we're most proud of.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to, again, have this conversation and allow the room, Mr. McDonald, to give you your flowers. What you built with Dr. Francis in 1972, here you are passing the baton to your son. Thank you, and thank you for the time. And please give Mr. McDonald a hand.